All right, hi guys. We are going to learn today how to download fonts and then upload them onto Lucidpress so that you can pair different fonts with different font sizes and really get an idea of what you want to do to maintain consistency and really create your style guide for Ezine for this year. Okay, so for example, I really like this font. This was a free font I downloaded. I'm going to show you that in a second. So I download this font, and let's say that I really want to pair this with a different font. Maybe I want to pair it with a script font. So let's talk about that a little bit. Two of the best places to find fonts are going to be fontsquirrel.com and dafont.com. Okay? If we look at dafont.com, you're going to see tons of different categories of fonts. What we'll talk about more in Ezine a little bit later this semester are kind of the history of fonts, and we'll talk about sans serif and serif. So with serif fonts have a little serif usually at the end of the letters or at the tops of letters with the X and Y heights. But then you get to sans serif, and sans means without, okay? So that means it does not have a serif. They've been chopped off at the ends of those letters. What we really like to see in graphic design are pairing sans serif with serif fonts, as we talked about in our lesson. So right now I have got a serif font on here as a headline. I really love this. I like the Vogue font that is used, so this is really close to that. So I'm going to want a subheading that is a script font. So we have serif and sans serif, but you also have different types of script fonts. You have dingbat fonts, you have fonts that you could pair for different kind of things. For example, Halloween fonts are really fun and really kind of give you that spooky Halloween feel. I love Halloween fonts. They're so much fun. But I want a script font, and I want something really light. So I'm going to look for a handwritten script font. And something like this or this would really be something that I would probably want. I think I want something that is a little bit thinner. So really make sure that you're looking at the weight of the font as well. This is a little bit thicker weight than this is. This is a weight that is thin lines paired with thicker lines, as you can see on here. So I'm looking for something that's more like this, very handwritten, kind of looks like a pen almost. So let's say I'm really interested in this font and I want to use it on Lucidpress, and this will be the place where we as a group are going to pair together our fonts and see what works and what doesn't. Okay? My yearbook is still doing this right now. This is what every publication does to really get an idea of what is going to look good consistently throughout your entire publication. So I'm going to go into dafont.com, and all I have to do is click download. It's going to download as a zip file on my desktop. Save it on your desktop, documents, or downloads. Click save. And then if I click this, it's going to open it up on my desktop. If I exit out of this for just a second, let's see. Let's try to find where that script font went. It should be a zip folder. So the font name is called best_stories, and here's the zip file, and here's the folder that I opened. So if I open up this folder, we're going to see that right here is the font. It's called Best Stories. Now, fonts will usually come in the files of OTF, or, as you can see right here, Vogue comes in the TTF. A TTF or OTF are both font file names, and so either or will work. So we're going to exit out of that and go back to Lucidpress. Under Lucidpress, you need to have a text box open just like this. On the right-hand side, you'll see text, fonts, and then you're just going to click under fonts, and you'll see under custom fonts, you can upload fonts. So click on upload fonts, and then click down here to upload font. We are going to take a look at our desktop. We're going to find the folder that we just downloaded. It's called best_stories. Open it. We're going to click on the OTF file and click open. And there is our font right there. So it looks like it uploaded well. So now we're going to click done. I am going to highlight the text called subheadings. And under my fonts, I'm going to search for best stories. It is right there. I'm going to click on it. And let's say I want to change the font size. I can just type in here. I'm going to change it to 100. Oh, that made it really big. Maybe I want to change it actually to 70. Let's see how big that is. All right, awesome. So that's what it looks like. I'm just going to write, how about Vogue Fashion Stories? So that is what my font is going to look like. I want to kind of fix where it's placed. So I'm just going to turn it like slightly and see if that works. No. Yeah, that looks fine right there. So if you notice that you don't really like where a font looks and how it kind of goes with your font, with your other fonts, then it doesn't work. That's totally fine. And that's the whole point of this, is figuring out what pairs with what. Now keep in mind that serif will always pair really well with sans serif fonts. A sans serif font will also pair really well with a script font. This is a serif font, and I'm pairing it with a script font. They don't always go together, but sometimes they can. And so what's really helpful in Lucidpress is playing around with different paragraph styles, with your spacing. Really play around with your spacing to see what you like. Maybe you want to stretch this out just a little bit more. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want it to come together a little bit more, right? Really kind of figure out what works. Also, you see that I'm taking these lines and kind of pushing them more into the spaces of the Vogue. That's something you can do as well. So really just play around with your fonts and you'll figure it out.